So Scott is a conservative activist who grew up for half his life in Jacksonville, Florida, and the other half in Northern Virginia. Anyone heard any good news out of Virginia lately? Yeah. You bet. Keeping in theme with our Veterans Day theme tonight, his dad is a retired Navy captain, and Scott says that his parents gave him hope for the world because of their strong marriage. Scott graduated from George Mason University with honors in criminal justice. Despite his strong performance in school, he says that he was, quote, one of those millennials who could not find a job. So he started walking dogs for money. And after months of picking up dog droppings, and which he will say there is no shame in an honest day's work and labor, he saw his friends posting about their careers on social media. He was eventually hired full-time by Alexandria City Public Schools. Today, he's a conservative activist, both on social media and in person, fighting to clean up America from town to town, quite literally. And he is here tonight to tell you a bit about his fight. Scott, come on up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Well, hello, Wisconsin! Low energy. That was Jeb Bush. On a good day. Let's do that again. Hello, Wisconsin! How about this? Let's go, Brandon. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Scott Presler. I am the son of a retired Navy captain. I am that long-haired Eagle Scout. And this year at CPAC, I was very humbled to receive the Ronald Reagan Award for Freedom. Thank you. But how did I start this political journey? Well, I graduated from George Mason with a 3.63 beauty and brains. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I couldn't find a job, so yes, I did start walking dogs for a living. And no, there is no shame in a hard day's work and an honest day's labor. I went on to work at an elementary school, and during this time, President Obama was re-elected for his second term. That night, I created my Twitter account because I told myself, Scott, you can sit at home, you can whine, you can complain, or do something about it. I started volunteering, thank you, and I fell in love with it because I met wonderful people like you, and I felt like I was making a difference in my community. I was affecting change. Now, the reason why I'm wearing cowboy boots here in the great state of Wisconsin is I got my first ever political job in 2014 helping to elect Governor Greg Abbott in the great state of Texas, who is building a wall along the southern border. I spent 2 years of my life working to defeat the Hillary Clinton, an accomplishment that we are all proud of. Thank you, Wisconsin. And I've spent the last 4 years traveling the country, registering thousands of voters, training tens of thousands of volunteers, and cleaning up our cities. You see, I want to make an important distinction that it was President Obama who inspired me on this journey, but it was President Trump who inspired me to take a deeper look at our neglected, abandoned inner cities. And I was really disappointed because I saw that, do you remember when he was talking about Baltimore? And he used kind of ungraceful words talking about the city. And I was disappointed because I saw that everybody, they were quick to judge. They were quick to point the finger. They were quick to blame, but nobody was offering a solution. So I tweeted out to my followers and I said, I'm going to Baltimore. The tweet went viral. Everybody across the country, they wanted to help. And then I was like, uh-oh. So within 6 days, we organized to clean up on a Monday, and we picked up 12 tons of trash in 12 hours in 1 day. I went home to my ma, and I was like, Ma, picking up trash. It was at that moment her heart swelled with pride. Because her baby boy, that dog walker, well, he done turned into a trash collector. And the reason why I share this story with you is I want you to understand the power of one, that you are infinitely powerful, but you have to make that choice to self-determine your future. And to give you the idea of how much one person can do, in just 2 years, we've organized cleanups in Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, Duquesne, Detroit, Houston, Kenosha, Los Angeles, Miami, Milwaukee, Portland, Pittsburgh, Philly. And I was even protested for picking up trash. I know, how rude. And San Francisco, California. With all due respect, Nancy Pelosi, eat your heart out. What does it mean to be a Republican? I think at the foundation of our Republican Party is the Constitution of the United States of America. And more importantly, while Democrats, they want to govern by coercion, mandates, and force, we as conservatives, we believe in liberty, freedom, and choice. And I want to treat you guys like a focus group for a moment. I'm going to name some conservative policies, and if you agree with the policy, I want you to cheer, I want you to shout, I want you to get rowdy. Okay? No vaccine passports. No mask mandates. You open our schools. Open our businesses. Fund the police. And defund the federal government. Term limits. School choice. No critical race theory in our schools or places of business. Veterans before illegals. Secure that gosh darn border. And last, and what I think is probably one of the most important things, stop giving money to countries that hate our guts. Is anything that I said extreme? No. Is anything that I said radical? No. No. I want to make it clear, this Republican Party is of an America First ideology. And that should be the test that every politician and every piece of legislation should have to undergo. Because if that politician or piece of legislation does not put the peace, prosperity, and well-being of the American people first, then it needs to hit the road. Now, what is the future of the Republican Party? And Kevin touched on some of these, and I want to reiterate. The future of the Republican Party is medical freedom and patient protection. We believe as Republicans that we, the people, not government, get to dictate how to run our lives. And while the Democrats, they will force you into retirement with their forced vaccinations, we believe in patient protection and that you get to make those medical choices in your own lives. Number 2, we believe in parental choice in education. That again, the parents, you know better than government. And you know what our children should be taught in our schools. Yeah. So, like did you hear what happened in Virginia? Yeah, how did that work out for you, Terry McAuliffe, who believes that parents should have no voice in education? Well, that was the shockwave heard around the world because we elected Republican Glenn Youngkin in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Number 3, have you noticed the Democrat Party is waging a war against women? They are trying to erase your gender. They call Latina and Latino Latinx. They want gender neutral everything. They call, and I hope I don't offend anybody, instead of mothers who breastfeed, they call it chest feeding. Have you heard of such a thing? I know. I didn't make this up, I promise. And that is the future of the Republican Party, that we have the opportunity to protect women's sports and that women should be able to compete on an equal playing field, that you don't have biological men competing against women. This is our historic opportunity to show women, I see you, I value you, I recognize the biological differences between men and women, and you have a place within our society. More importantly, you have a place within our Republican Party. And last, this is a big one, especially in the state of Wisconsin. This is our opportunity to show that the Republican Party is the party of unions. That while the Democrats, they ship union jobs overseas to China, they outsource our jobs here in Wisconsin. This is our opportunity to say, no, we are going to fight for the American worker first. We're going to fight to protect those jobs and keep those here in the great state of Wisconsin. And I don't know if you've been seeing what's happening in New York, but it's magical. The Democrats, they are waging a war against our firefighters, against our police, against our first responders, against our nurses, against the very people that were saving lives throughout this entire pandemic. And now they're telling them that they must get a forced vaccination or suffer retirement. And I'm here to tell you that thousands of Democrats across the state of New York are switching to Republican. So I need you to bring this message to the people. Let them know this is what we're fighting for. We're fighting for liberty. We're fighting for freedom. We're fighting for choice. I'm the son of a retired Navy captain. And my grandfather was a retired Navy captain. I don't know what happened to me, but that's a different story. I'm not cutting the hair. I'm sorry. It's staying. Do you know how long this took to flat iron? Thank you. And I'm very privileged that because of great men and women who sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice, that I am able to speak in front of you today. This is a privilege that countries around the world wish they had. And that's why I'm here, because there's a sense of urgency in doing this, because we are the last, truest, freest country in the world. And people are looking out to us as that shining beacon of hope. Don't let that fire die out. I'm counting on every single one of you. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful, because that's not my intention. I never served in the military, but I feel like I'm serving in a different capacity. And for those of you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if any of you have ever felt called to serve in your way, now is that time. Step up, take action, and do something! I want to thank Kevin Nicholson for having me today. I want to thank No Better Friend Corporation. And with all of your help, we in 2022 are not only going to have a decisive, overwhelming Republican victory, taking the House and taking the Senate, but we are going to oust Governor Evers. Thank you, Wisconsin! Thank you! Thank you, guys. Thank you.